Neither side activated their martial spirits immediately. The 5 young men from the opposing side saw that their challenger was a particularly delicate-looking girl. Although she didn't appear very old, Xiao Wu, now standing at about 1.7 meters tall, had large, innocent eyes that made her seem harmless. This sight caused their aggressive momentum to falter. Oscar stood next to Tang San and whispered, "You'd better step in before Xiao Wu gets hurt." Oscar had never seen Xiao Wu in action and thus didn't know her true capabilities. Since their opponents were from an advanced Soul Master Academy, they were likely above level 20 and there were 5 of them. Tang San didn't move forward. Instead, he smiled slightly and said, "You've been deceived by Xiao Wu's appearance. These guys are in for some trouble." Over years of continuous cultivation, Tang San's purple demon eye had reached the microscopic stage, allowing him to see things more clearly than before. The purple demon eye has 4 stages: broad view, microscopic, mustard seed, and vast. At the broad view stage, it greatly enhances vision, allowing one to grasp every detail. In the microscopic stage, according to Tang San's memory and the records in the mysterious Heaven Treasure Record, the purple demon eye should provide clearer vision and more detailed insights. It could slow down everything in front of him, enabling his nerves to react in the shortest time. However, when Tang San's purple demon eye reached the microscopic stage in this world, he discovered it had mutated slightly. Besides its original abilities, it now allowed him to see the soul power levels of other soul masters. The catch was that he could only see the soul power of those weaker than himself. For those stronger, the purple demon eye was ineffective. Although he didn't understand why this was, Tang San found this ability quite useful as it helped him judge if an opponent's soul power was stronger than his own. At this moment, with the help of his purple demon eye, he could clearly see that among the 7 students from Tonghui Academy, except for the female student and the teacher, the soul power levels of the other 6 were evident. The youth who had provoked Dai Mubai and been repelled had a soul power of level 27, while the 5 before him now were all below level 25. Tang San was well aware of Xiao Wu's combat experience and her level 29 soul power. He was confident that Xiao Wu would not suffer a loss, especially with him by her side. The 5 young men's advancing steps hesitated, but Xiao Wu did not. Blinking her large eyes, Xiao Wu smiled and said, "Hello, brothers." The 5 youths were momentarily stunned, looking at each other in bewilderment. Faced with such a cute girl, their aggressive postures suddenly felt awkward, and they hesitated, not knowing what to do. Just as they were exchanging glances, Xiao Wu moved. Her foot seemed to slip, and she stumbled forward, falling toward one of the youths. Instinctively, the young man reached out to support her, but before he could react, a black braid flew up and wrapped tightly around his neck. Xiao Wu's falling momentum ceased as she curled her body, leaped backward, and kicked both feet toward the young man's chest. Having his neck wrapped around made the young man panic. Seeing Xiao Wu's feet coming, he quickly raised his hands to block. But little did he know, Xiao Wu's feet weren't meant to attack but to act as a pivot. Almost instantly, he was thrown out by Xiao Wu's forward somersault. Even Tang San had suffered a loss when he first encountered Xiao Wu's soft technique, let alone these academy-trained students with limited combat experience. Xiao Wu moved swiftly, without pause, using the momentum from her somersault to kick at another young man. The remaining 4 hadn't fully reacted. The second youth hurriedly raised his hands to block Xiao Wu's attack, but her soft technique was not so easily stopped. Though he managed to block her legs, he was shocked to find that there was no force behind her kick. Her legs slipped under his arms, clamped onto his neck, and she flipped backward, throwing him out as well. All this happened in a flash. The surrounding diners saw 5 Tonghui Academy students charge forward, only to be cleanly thrown out by a petite girl in an instant. The teacher from Tonghui Academy was stunned by Xiao Wu's fighting style. Furious and astonished, he roared, idiots, use your martial spirits." Oscar wiped his eyes hard and muttered, damn, she's fierce. Good thing I never crossed her. Tang San smiled silently. Dai Mubai then stood up again and said in a deep voice, "Yi Xiao Wu, come back. We boys can handle this." In a flash, Dai Mubai was beside Xiao Wu. Xiao Wu looked at Tang San, who nodded, so she didn't attack again and calmly walked back. Fatty Ma Hongjun took a few more bites, reluctantly put down his food, and joined Dai Mubai. His hands clapped together, producing a sharp sound. Tang San switched places with Xiao Wu and stood beside Dai Mubai. 3 youths faced off against 5 young men, seemingly outnumbered, but was the power balance the same? Since Xiao Wu hadn't used her martial spirit, the 2 who had been thrown out were merely disoriented and not seriously hurt. The 5 Tsonghui Academy students regrouped, their anger peaking as they unleashed their martial spirits without hesitation. They couldn't believe that as students of an advanced Soul Master Academy, they could lose to these teenagers. In an instant, various lights flashed as the 5 youths released their martial spirits. Their spirit rings, all 1 white and 1 yellow, signified 1 10-year ring and 1 100-year ring. All 5 were battle soul masters, 2 with weapon spirits and 3 with beast spirits. The weapon spirits were a spear and a trident, while the beast spirits were a deer, a sheep, and a horse. None of these spirits were particularly powerful. Seeing the opponents release their martial spirits, Dai Mubai's disdainful look intensified. So these are the disciples of an advanced Soul Master Academy? They even have 10-year rings? Guys, show them our spirit rings. The evil-eyed white tiger of Shrek Academy was never one for pleasantries. Unless you could prove your strength, Dai Mubai's arrogant demeanor wouldn't change. White tiger, possess. A layer of intense white light burst from his body. Dai Mubai stretched out his arms, his chest thrust forward, and his bones crackled as his muscles swelled, straining his clothes. Every muscle became distinct under his clothes, and the air around him seemed to become agitated. His blonde hair turned black and white, predominantly white with a few black streaks. 4 faint lines appeared on his forehead, forming the character Zhuang Yi King. His hands grew twice their size, covered in white fur, with dagger-like claws extending and retracting from his palms. Each claw was about 8 inches long, gleaming with a cold light. Dai Mubai leaned forward slightly, his pupils turning a deep blue, exuding an icy killing intent. 3 radiant rings rose from his feet, 2 yellow and 1 purple, representing a century-old and a millennium-old spirit ring. The pressure from his overwhelming soul power crashed down like waves. Perhaps due to martial spirit suppression, the 3 beast spirit masters from Tsonghui Academy trembled and stepped back involuntarily when Dai Mubai completed his transformation. Facing a tiger, how could a deer, sheep, and horse not be afraid? Especially the sight of Dai Mubai's Millennium Spirit Ring shocked the 5 Tsonghui Academy students to their cores. As Dai Mubai released his martial spirit, Tang San and Ma Hongjun also revealed their strengths. Phoenix, possess. Purple-red light burst from Fatty's body. His hair extended and gathered into a mohawk. 2 yellow spirit rings rose from his feet, and long feathers extended from his stout arms, transforming his hands into claws. Blistering heat waves swirled around the chubby guy, making his aura feel completely different despite his shorter stature compared to the students from Tsonghui Academy. As purple flames emerged from his body, combined with Dai Mubai's white tiger martial soul, the pressure on the opposing side was suffocating. Only Tang San's martial soul remained calm. 2 yellow rings, identical to Ma Hongjun's, rose from beneath him. Blue-silver grass silently spread, encircling him and slowly extending outward. Without even needing to lift a finger, just the release of Dai Mubai's 3 spirit rings completely demoralized the 5 students from Tsonghui Academy. They were well aware of the significant power difference that an additional spirit ring brought, especially considering that Dai Mubai's 3rd spirit ring was of the millennial level, an insurmountable challenge for them. The Tsonghui Academy students felt deeply disheartened. The 3 youths before them seemed much younger, yet exhibited strength far beyond their own. Stop. The teacher from Songhue Academy finally couldn't hold back, waving his hand to his students. All of you, stand down. While his students felt upset, the teacher was profoundly shocked. He recognized that the three youths before him were prodigies. Especially the one in the center, who looked no older than 17 but already possessed 3 spirit rings, reaching the Soul Elder stage, a rare feat, especially with a millennial spirit ring, which was dazzling to behold. As a middle-aged man, seeing Dai Mubai's true strength made him ponder many possibilities. He knew that his students stood no chance against these opponents. Even if they could win, he wouldn't allow them to fight further. Some troubles weren't worth provoking. I am Yi Zhiqiu, the director of Songhue Academy's External Affairs. May I know which sect you belong to? Seeing Yi Zhiqiu approach, withstanding the pressure of his spirit power without releasing his martial soul, Dai Mubai was inwardly cautious. He could tell this middle-aged man's spirit power far exceeded his own. We're from Shrek Academy, the chubby guy declared proudly before Dai Mubai could respond. As he spoke, his gaze fixed intently on the only female student from Songhue Academy. Yi Zhiqiu paused, his eyes reflecting a thoughtful light, unfamiliar with the name Shrek Academy. Shrek Academy? Never heard of it. Dai Mubai snorted coldly. That's because you're ignorant. Relieved to hear they weren't from a prominent sect, Yi Zhiqiu felt a mix of relief and helplessness. He always thought Songhue Academy's students were exceptional. This trip to the Star-Do Forest was to help a student obtain her 3rd spirit ring after reaching the 30th level, a student who had yet to appear. However, these youths had deeply unsettled him. Yi Zhiqiu understood that these 3 youths had every right to disdain Songhue Academy. But how did they achieve such strong spirit power at such a young age? They were like little monsters. Even though he was shocked by their strength, he couldn't back down in front of so many diners. It would disgrace Songhue Academy. His students might not be enough, but he had to regain some face for the academy. Thinking this, Yi Zhiqiu no longer hesitated. His eyes flashed, and he released his martial soul, Black Tortoise, possession. His beast spirit, Black Tortoise, released black ripples that pushed back the auras of Tang San, Dai Mubai, and the chubby guy. His limbs retracted by a third, and a huge carapace emerged on his back, shining with black light. 5 spirit rings, 1 white, 2 yellow, and 2 purple, rose from his feet, spiraling around him. The director of Songhue Academy's External Affairs was a soul king of over 50 levels. Though Yi Zhiqiu's spirit rings weren't outstanding for his level, his over 50 levels of spirit power immediately suppressed Shrek Academy's trio. The entire restaurant burst into exclamations. A soul king was a rare and powerful sight, comparable to a viscount or even an earl in some kingdoms. Dai Mubai's expression changed, glancing at Tang San, who understood and nodded. He raised his hands, touching the 24 moonlit bridges. Facing an opponent with significantly higher spirit power, only hidden weapons could ensure a sure strike. After all, unlike Zhao Wuji, Yi Zhiqiu wouldn't necessarily show mercy. Yi Zhiqiu spoke elegantly. You kids are reckless. Call your academy's teacher. The chubby guy screamed. With just you, old turtle, you want to see our teacher? We're enough to deal with you. Everyone, please don't fight in my humble establishment. The shop owner hurried out, knowing his business might be destroyed in the coming storm. Yi Zhiqiu, possessing the Black Tortoise martial soul, hated being called turtle. Initially, he just wanted to scare the youths without resorting to bullying. Moreover, he didn't know the full extent of their academy's strength. But the chubby guy crossed a line, enraging Yi Zhiqiu, who laughed coldly. Fine, I'll teach you a lesson. Let's take this outside. Turning to leave, his black carapace swayed comically, though his spirit power was formidable. Songhue Academy students followed Yi Zhiqiu out. Dai Mubai whispered to Tang San, this old guy is over 50 levels, and his black tortoise is a strong beast spirit. Be careful. I'll hold his attacks, you must be quick. I may not last long. Tang San said, we might not lose. Though his spirit power is higher, his spirit has flaws. The others gathered, hearing Tang San's words. Tang San continued, his martial soul is Black Tortoise, a defensive-type battle spirit master. Most of his skills should be defensive. Thus, despite his strong spirit, his attack threats are limited. High spirit power but lacking offensive means, how can he threaten us? I suggest 2 strategies. As the master's disciple, Tang San's knowledge of martial souls surpassed the others. Observing Yi Zhiqiu's spirit, he made several judgments. First, we can use our speed to maneuver around him. Being a teacher with higher spirit power, he won't limit our numbers. So I suggest myself, Mubai, and Zhu Zhuqing, as we are the fastest. While maneuvering, we must avoid his attacks and seek opportunities to strike his weak points. However, the Black Tortoise's defense is strong, making our success uncertain. My blue silver grass's thorns and poison might not affect him due to his carapace. Thus, I recommend the second strategy. Similar to the first, we still distract him. The Black Tortoise is water attribute, which counters and is countered by Fatty's Phoenix Flames. Fatty's special fire can attack from a distance, with Oscar's sausages supporting. Our goal is to exhaust him. Xiao Wu, you handle our substitutions to ensure we get supplies from Oscar. Despite our lower spirit power, we have Oscar and numerical advantage, exploiting his lack of offensive power. Everyone applauded Tang San's strategy, though one person was displeased. Tang San, what about me? Ning Rongrong frowned, glaring at Tang San. Tang San hesitated. He excluded her to avoid negative impact due to her feisty nature. Your martial soul is special. Adapt to the situation. Ning Rongrong bit her lip, feeling excluded. Determined, she knew she had to prove herself to the team. After saying this, everyone started heading outside. Based on Tang San's previous battle with Zhao Wuji, they all felt confident. Moreover, challenging strong opponents was clearly beneficial for improving their own skills. Ning Rongrong walked at the back, and suddenly, she heard a low voice in her ear, if you want everyone to acknowledge you, prove it with your actions. Show that you belong to Shrek. When Ning Rongrong looked up, she saw Oscar, now sporting a beard, smiling at her. For some reason, her eyes turned slightly red, and she nodded vigorously at him. Soon, they reached outside the town. Perhaps it was because Yi Zhiqiu's 5 spirit rings were too eye-catching, their group attracted quite an audience from the town. As they left the town, Yi Zhiqiu regained some composure. Seeing the 7 youths approaching, he said in a deep voice, I'll give you one more chance. It's not too late to admit your mistakes now.
Dai Mubai smiled wickedly. Mistakes?
What's right and what's wrong? The bigger fist is right. Defeat us first, then we'll talk. By this point, Yi Zhiqiu had no choice but to act. He snorted angrily, come at me together. I'll teach you how to behave on behalf of your academy. Fatty chuckled and said, remember, we're not humans, we're monsters. Before Yi Zhiqiu could strike, Dai Mubai had already moved, his second spirit ring shining brightly. A strong white light gathered into a ball, and a spherical light bomb shot out from his mouth. The second spirit skill of the evil-eyed White Tiger Light Wave. As Dai Mubai launched the White Tiger Light Wave, Zhu Zhuqing's body slanted and accelerated towards Yi Zhiqiu's flank, while Tang San simultaneously charged from another direction. Fatty's mohawk-like hair trembled as his first spirit ring shone brightly, spewing out a purple-red phoenix fire wire. The 4 attacked almost simultaneously, showing no fear despite their opponent being a spirit king with over 50 levels. Facing the simultaneous attacks of the 4, Yi Zhiqiu's whole body shone with black light as he let out a low roar. His first and second spirit rings lit up, and he quickly turned half a circle, revealing the turtle shell on his back. Simultaneously, a black light resembling flowing water, carrying a chilling aura, spread out. As soon as the battle started, Yijiqiu used his first two spirit ring skills, Mystic Turtle Body Protection and Mystic Water Ice Seal. His goal was simple: to quickly subdue these youths, teach them a harsh lesson, vent his anger, and demonstrate the strength of Zhonghui Academy. Although the Shrek Academy students were exceptionally talented, they were still young, and their spirit power was significantly lower than his. Yijiqiu believed that his level 53 spirit power, combined with Mystic Water Ice Seal, would easily freeze them all. The white tiger light wave exploded on Yijiqiu's back, just as Tang San had predicted. The Mystic Turtle's defense was among the top for beast spirits, and with Yijiqiu's higher spirit power, the attack had no effect. His body didn't even move. By this time, Tang San had already closed in on Yijiqiu, feeling an intense chill that seemed to freeze his blood. Alarmed, he quickly activated his internal mysterious heaven skill to resist the cold. He halted his charge, but his blue silvergrass spirit spread out, entangling towards Yijiqiu from all directions. Despite the cold or heat being effective against plant spirits, the blue silvergrass speed slowed significantly under the influence of Mystic Water Ice Seal. At this moment, Fatty's Phoenix Fire Wire reached Yijiqiu's turtle shell. Although the Phoenix Flame's heat was greatly reduced by the Mystic Water Ice Seal, it also lessened the chill of the Mystic Water Ice Seal. The purple-red flame clung to the turtle shell without penetrating, but didn't extinguish either, sticking to it stubbornly. Ma Hongjuan's mutated spirit couldn't be compared to ordinary fire. Yijiqiu felt a burst of heat from his back and was startled. Seizing this moment, blue silvergrass had already wrapped around him, tightly binding his body. Zhu Zhuqing's ethereal figure appeared silently in his blind spot, launching her first spirit skill, Nether Thrust, targeting Yijiqiu's neck. Suddenly, Yijiqiu's neck shrank, and his entire head bizarrely retracted into his chest cavity, narrowly avoiding Zhu Zhuqing's claws. His third spirit ring lit up, and a mist of water sprayed from his mouth, dousing the phoenix flame on his back. Although the phoenix flame was strong, Yijiqiu's mystic water was formidable too, and with his much higher spirit power, the purple-red flame on the turtle shell was extinguished. The intense cold surged again. Tang San quickly retracted his blue silvergrass to prevent it from freezing and affecting him. Zhu Zhuqing's cat claws struck the turtle shell, using the momentum to leap away. However, during this brief contact, Zhu Zhuqing's right hand was already frozen. At this time, Dai Mubai arrived, activating his white tiger barrier. Under the glow of his first spirit ring, a pair of huge tiger claws emerged, slashing towards Yijiqiu's back. Dai Mubai's spirit power was the highest among the Shrek students. The attack generated by his 37 levels of spirit power was significantly stronger than those in their 20s. With two muffled sounds, Yijiqiu staggered forward a couple of steps, but quickly turned half a circle, extending his head from his chest. Opening his mouth, he spat out a stream of black cold current directly at Dai Mubai. The third spirit ring skill, Mystic Water Surge. The intense cold made Dai Mubai shiver. Although the white tiger barrier shielded part of the cold, it couldn't completely block it, given the 10-level difference in their spirit powers. At this moment, the second wave of purple-red flame appeared, blocking Dai Mubai and colliding with the black water. Thick steam rose, and although the flame was suppressed by the mystic water, Dai Mubai took the opportunity to retreat quickly. The brief encounter left Tang San puzzled. Did he misjudge? Was the mystic turtle not a defense-type spirit? No, it couldn't be. His teacher's years of research couldn't be wrong. This Zhonghui Academy teacher's spirit hadn't shown any mutations. Yet, his icy spirit skills were indeed troublesome. Unbeknownst to Tang San, Yijiqiu was even more astonished. Although the combined attack of the four youths didn't harm him, it caused him considerable trouble. Especially the Phoenix Fire Wire from Ma Hongjun, which seemed to be his nemesis. If it weren't for the fatty's low spirit power, his mystic water couldn't have resisted this strange flame. Moreover, the 2 strikes from Dai Mubai on his turtle shell carried thick, domineering spirit power, filled with explosive force. Although the turtle shell protected him, it still caused his blood to churn. After all, Mystic Turtle Body Protection was only his first Spirit Ring skill. Despite the Mystic Turtle's natural defense, the defensive power of a first Spirit Ring skill was limited. What shocked Yijichio most was the coordination among these 4 youths. Though their teamwork was still raw, not reaching a seamless level, their abilities complemented each other strongly. One was a strong close combat attacker, another a nimble guerrilla fighter, one a control type, and one a long-range attacker. This synergy maximized their offensive potential. What kind of academy was this Shrek Academy? Little did he know, the 7 youths he faced were all of Shrek Academy's students. At this moment, a lazy voice interrupted the battle. What are you doing out here so late instead of resting? Tang-san paused, his hand subconsciously lowering from the moonlit night cape. Dai Mubai, who was about to use his 3rd Spirit Ring skill, also stopped reflexively, retreating to put distance between himself and Yijichio. A tall figure appeared in their view. It was Zhao Wuji. Go back to sleep, Zhao Wuji ordered, not even glancing at the Tsonghui Academy side. His interruption infuriated Yijichio. Wait a moment. Zhao Wuji turned back impatiently. What is it? Yijichio coldly replied, You're a teacher at the Shrek Academy, right? Your students insulted our Tsonghui Academy. Don't you think you owe us an explanation? Explanation? What's there to explain? Isn't Tsonghui Academy just a garbage academy? Their words don't count as insults, Zhao Wuji retorted. Who was Zhao Wuji? Once a notorious rogue in the Spirit Master world, he wasn't among the most powerful, but was definitely a fearsome figure. Facing a Spirit Master over 50 levels, he naturally didn't take him seriously.